You are listening to 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment.
Welcome back, everybody, to 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment. I am Zach. I am joined by the terrible Buckeye himself, Morgan Garber. Morgan.
Terrible Buckeye. You want to start that again?
Your Buckeyes. I'm sorry.
Maybe
you guys
in 2014 national championship.
You guys are way too early. Top
Buckeyes.
25, 10th. We're third, so we're better than you.
Way too early. That's the first thing you had to look forward to in like 10 years now. Good job.
We beat you like 3 years ago. I don't know. Again, you Buckeye fans are your history of the rivalry is so skewed. It's hard to even talk it with you. And I'm here with a fellow Michigan man.
No, the history isn't skewed. It's just you talked to a Michigan fan. Back in 1807, we whooped you guys 20 times in a row. Good job.
It's still part of history. It doesn't matter.
They cut off. They have cut off for everything.
You have to find Michigan's last national championship on the History Channel. You got to go to the Blockbuster and dust off the VCR tape to watch it.
If you want to find out what's going on with Ohio State players, all you got to do is watch Cops.
That's true too.
Okay, Curry doesn't play for me anymore, Dick.
Thug you.
Thug you.
I'm sorry. Who's been sanctioned in the last 5 years and who hasn't? Oh, my bad. Who's been sanctioned ever and who hasn't? Oh, my bad. My bad. We were never.
And that's better than Netflix and chill.
Oh, Jesus.
You're stupid.
I'm here with a fellow Michigan man to shed some light on his insanity. Ryan Bogrowski. Ryan, it's starting early with this nonsense. Help me out here.
We might have to just kick him off the show because I don't know if I can do this for the rest of the season.
It's going to be a long football season. I tell you.
Long season. Every time you introduce him as a terrible Buckeye, he still thinks you're going to change it to something different.
You're going to call me the national championship Buckeye fan. I ain't calling you shit but a bitch. All right.
If you call me the 2014 national championship Buckeyes, I will call you guys the 1997 co-national championship.
No, we were the national champions.
Okay. Oh, here we go again.
We were the national champions. Number one defense in the country.
You're right. Number one defense, huh?
We had a number one defense that year. You should probably learn your history of the sport before you start.
Right. Right. So did Alabama. Number one defense in history. But you said that once you went back and looked on that, those stats were skewed.
You're an idiot. The number one defense in the history is the 1901 Michigan Wolverines, who didn't surrender a single point that season. That is the number one defense in
1901. Now, that is impressive.
They scored over 700 that season, and it never happened before, and it never happened since. So, yes, it is impressive, you dick.
At least you can hang your hat on something, right?
The best team ever? Yeah. How many national titles you guys got?
Back in 1901.
6?
Back in 1901.
We got 14 national titles, so get on my level.
Like 160 years ago. Good job. Which was the last time you guys were relevant?
You're an idiot. 2006 was the last time we were actually relevant. 2011 we won a BCS bowl game. So I don't know.
So 10 years ago was the last time you guys were relevant. All right.
Oh, we won a BCS bowl game 4 years ago.
Oh, you guys won a bowl game.
Well, we won a bowl game last season. We beat the SEC East champions 44-7, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, and we still kicked your ass in a big house.
That's neither here nor there. You guys had the best running back in the country. The best running back in the country. You don't have him this year. So we're going to give our way too early top 5 college football preview here, and we'll start off with a terrible Buckeye himself to see what propaganda he's going to spew out of his mouth this time and how he's going to sugarcoat his Buckeyes in the top 5. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
I don't have the Buckeyes in the top 5, believe it or not.
Whoa! Oh, Ryan.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say.
No propaganda? No nonsense? No filth? What?
Let me ask you a question. Did you really think I was going to have the Buckeyes in the top 5?
I did.
Yes.
I thought you'd have them number 2.
You guys
I thought you'd have Clemson number 1.
Absolutely not. No.
OSU number 2.
100%. I thought you would have them in the top 5.
No, because going into this season, I had the same feeling as I did in 2014. I have a really good feeling, but to put them in as one of the top 5 best teams in the country going into the season, no.
All right, so who do you got?
Let him
start at 5.
All right, coming in at number 5 is Alabama. They got 6 returning starters on offense, 5 on defense. Their biggest question is going to be quarterback. Damian Harris and Scarborough should be good at running backs for them. They did get their left tackle. Cam Robinson was arrested, so that might be a question. They got USC early on, so they have a pretty good test. Coming in at number 4, I have Florida State. They got probably one of the best running backs in the nation, and Dalvin Cook coming back. They're returning almost everybody on their offense. They have all conference wideouts, Rudolph and Woodfield, 7 starters on defense. Their question also will be at quarterback. Coming at number 3, I have Oklahoma with Baker Mayfield returning, Samaja and Joe Mixon returning. They got 4 defensive players coming back. So that's good for them. They have tough tests at home at Ohio State, home against Ohio State, and at TCU. Coming at number 2, I have LSU. This is where Les Miles is pretty much playing for his job. Brandon Harris should be able to win that quarterback job. They got a tough game versus the Badgers at Lambeau Field. They are returning almost everybody on their offense. They got 9 defensive players coming back. And they have probably one of the best, if not the best, running back in Fournette. And then my number 1 team, Clemson. I mean, it's kind of hard to not pick them number 1 with Watson coming back. Gallman, their offense is loaded. All-American wideout. They lost 6 starters on defense, including Shaq Lawson, so that could be their weakness, but I think their offense will be good enough to kind of lead the way. So that's all I got. Bama 5, Florida State 4, Oklahoma 3, LSU 2, Clemson 1. My number 6 honorary pick, I won't lie, I will put in Michigan in there because they're going to be a tough team coming in.
I was going to ask you if you would put Michigan ahead of Ohio State going into the season. Guess you answered my question right there.
Going into the season, I'm a huge Buckeye fan, but I'm also a realist fan, and we have a lot of question marks. You guys don't have a lot of question marks. You got a lot of starters coming back. Second year under Harbaugh, he kind of has his players in there now. So yeah, I do get the slight edge to Michigan.
Nice to know, Ryan. Who you got in your top 5?
My top 5. We'll give number 5 to Michigan. They have 8 guys returning on offense, 6 on defense, 1 on special teams. They did lose, some key players this year, but they're going to have a good battle going in for the quarterback who's going to be starting this year. You got the transfer from Houston coming in, and then you also have sophomore Wilton Speet. So that'll be a good competition, see who ends up taking that. So, yeah, they're my number 5. Number 4, I have Notre Dame. They did lose quite a few players. They had 6 guys go in the first round of the draft. They haven't had they've only had 4 first-rounders between 95 and 2011, so it was a huge year for them. But they have 12 guys returning, and I just don't see them slowing down. Coach Kelly's doing great, and it just seems like he's getting better and better every year. Number 3, I had Alabama. I hate Alabama. Sick of hearing about Alabama every year, but you really can't argue. They are a good team. They did lose a lot of key players, but every year they bring it and they do well. So can't argue with that at all. Number 2, I had Florida State. Again, they have 17 18 guys returning starters last year. So, I mean, their quarterback is going to be sitting out for the spring because he broke his ankle. So we'll see what happens with that. Should be a good season for them as well. And then I have Clemson at number 1. I mean, they dominated last year, 8-0 in the ACC, 14-1 overall, and they got 13 guys coming back as starters. So that's my top 5. I think it's a pretty solid top 5. Had to get Michigan in there, of course.
They should have been number 1, but whatever.
I mean,
All right, I'll give you my top 5 now. The champs' top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Alabama. All right, ESPN has them as a way too early number 1. I can't see that with a huge quarterback question. I mean, Jake Coker, you knew what you were getting. He may not have started for them, but he was at Florida State before. And he was a good quarterback, a good game-managing quarterback. They lost Derrick Henry. They lost their center, Ryan Kelly. So you're not only having a new quarterback, but a new center with him. You lost 7 guys on defense, and that defense wasn't a typical Alabama dominant defense. So I can see them struggling there. So I have Alabama coming at 5. At number 4, I'm going with Florida State. I wanted to rank them higher, but again, they lost Golston, and they have the quarterback questions. DeAndre Franco, he had a good spring. His spring game, he went 20 for 33 with 246 and 2 touchdowns. We also did the 2 picks. He's a young guy. He was once a Michigan target, so I remember him pretty vividly. And then, of course, Sean McGuire sitting out with a broken ankle. But 10 guys coming back on offense is a pretty big deal. At number 3, I'm going with Oklahoma. Obviously. What?
We have the same 5-4-3 so far.
We have the same. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I know. Number 3 is Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield. They're coming off an 11-2 season. They're bringing back 7 on offense, 7 on defense. Sterling Shepard is going to be hard to replace at the receiver spot, but I think with Mayfield, he can probably make a lot of receivers around him great. At number 2, I have LSU. 9 on offense, 9 on defense. I mean, can you say more? Obviously, the quarterback has always been Les Miles' Achilles heel at LSU. Brandon Harris seems to be. He had a good spring. We'll see how he does in game action. But when you have Leonard Fournette behind you, that makes everything better. And they lose both their tackles. They got to replace both their tackles, and that's going to be a big question mark. But 9 on offense, 9 on defense coming back is a huge gift for them. And at number 1, guys, the number 1 team
is it Michigan?
Is
it Michigan?
Clemson.
Dude, we have the same top 5. Are you serious?
Yeah, we do.
That just means you're stepping your game up, Morgan. That's all that means.
You're welcome. Now, I understand Clemson is pretty much rebuilding their defense. They're only bringing 3 guys back. They lost Mackenzie Alexander. They lost Shaq Lawson. They lost Kevin Dodd. I mean, those are 3 big guys. B.J. Goodson's gone. Jaron Curse. But their offense with Watson at quarterback is just ridiculous. I think they're going to outscore everybody. The defense is going to have growing pains. By the time they get into the meat of their schedule, they play Florida State. I think they'll be well-oiled by then, have game experience, and that offense is going to carry them to that point. I don't have Michigan in my top 5. I don't have Michigan.
Where do you have them at?
Huh? I would probably put Michigan at 11 right now.
So where do you have the Buckeyes?
I have Ohio State ahead of Michigan right now. And here's my reason.
All right, I'm a head out.
I know, and it pains me to say that, but I am also a realist when it comes to football. Michigan hasn't had back-to-back 10-win seasons since 02-03. All right, they haven't had back-to-back 9+ winning seasons since 03-04. They haven't had back-to-back bowl wins since 99 and 2000. They've lost what was that? 12 out of 14 against Michigan or Ohio State. They've lost 7 out of 8 to Michigan State. Now, if we're going to beat them this year, this is the year to do it. With everything Ohio State lost, they're only bringing 3 back on offense, 3 back on defense. Michigan State is only bringing 3 on offense, 6 on a bad defense. So this is the year to do it. but we haven't done it so consistently in so long. And everyone's telling me, well, it's Jim Harbaugh. He's different than Brady Hoke. I mean, people forget Brady Hoke won 11 games and a Sugar Bowl in his first year. Then the decline started. I have to see it first. I know they're different coaches, different styles, different temperaments, they're different people overall. But I got to see it first before I can believe it. I get so hyped up every year that Michigan's finally back. Michigan's finally doing this. We're doing that. We have question marks at quarterback. O'Korn hasn't started a game in 2 years, and he got relieved at Houston from the quarterback they have now. Wilton Spate had a good game against Minnesota last year, and that was it. I don't know who we're going to have under center. We're losing our entire linebacking core. I don't know who's going to start there. I know they're bringing Jabril Peppers in. We have a brand new defensive coordinator. There's a lot of question marks about our team.
And they're going to try to do a lot more with him than they've done in the past.
Jabril Peppers is going to be all over the place.
That can be good or bad.
Exactly. How is that going to correspond with the other guys? Who are you going to have at safety when he's at linebacker, or nickel when he's at linebacker? There's a lot of question marks that I need answered, and they've got to be answered quickly. We have a tough schedule this year. We play Wisconsin, we play Ohio State, we play Michigan State. We don't have a cakewalk. And both those games are away this year. We're going to have to go down to Columbus and into East Lansing and prove that we're back. And until we do that, we're not a top 10 team. Until we do that, we're not a top 5 team. We've got to earn that respect again. There used to be a time when the Big House gave you 14 points and the Wayne Hellman gave you 7 right off the bat. That time is gone. We had that because we earned it over 100 years of greatness. We haven't had that in 2 decades now. We've got to earn that back. And that takes time. So that happens, we're not a top 10 team preseason.
I think that's the one thing that the Buckeyes do have going for them, is you got Elflein moving to center, and JT Barrett under center. So you got that connection that Barrett would definitely help the young wide receiving core. Torrance Gibson, who he brought in, who was a quarterback but was moved to wideout. He's a lot of people are picking him to have a breakout year. Like, this is his time to shine. Their secondary is supposed to be much improved. I'll believe that when I see it. Our secondary is always supposed to be real good, and that seems to be their weakest link every freaking year. Weber should get the starting job at running back. He had a really good spring game. He could fill in nicely for Elliott. And actually, when Carlos Hyde left, everyone was like, well, who's going to be the next running back? And I told everybody, watch out for Zeke. I watched a game where he had over 100 yards in a quarter and a half. He had over 100 yards, like 3 touchdowns in a quarter and a half. So, and I think Weber could step in. He might not step in right away like what Zeke did, because Weber's a different type of back. But I'm excited for him. It's a lot of young talent, a lot of young players, a lot of young athletic players is what they have. So going to Oklahoma will be a real big test. They have a tougher schedule coming up for this year. And Zach, we talked about this a while ago about their schedule. So it's a little bit tougher schedule. Going to Oklahoma. We're home against Michigan, so that's good. But
Oklahoma's going to be a
wait
big
to see. Yeah.
And when Mike Weber came out, I told you he's my favorite running back in the class. Even when he made the switch to Ohio State, I said he's still my favorite. That's a big loss for us. I think he's the best running back in the class.
Yeah.
But he is a way different type of back than Ezekiel Elliott. And I think Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back prospect to come out in probably a decade. That's a big loss. Yeah. And Weber has to stay healthy too. He got banged up last year in the spring game. We'll see how he does staying healthy going forward.
Yeah, that's the thing. Having Zeke, that was almost like a safety valve. You had a running back you could block for. You had a running back you can catch out of the backfield. You had to see if Weber was able to fill into those shoes, or if Barrett's going to be scrambling a lot more. He
was what I call a quadruple threat. He could run, he could catch, he could block, but he also made J.T. Barrett's job easier. I was watching the Michigan game. They do the zone read to Zeke, and all three linebackers were flowing to Zeke right away. So J.T. Barrett had running lanes wide open. He's not going to have that with Mike Weber right away. Weber's kind of going to earn that. So losing a quadruple threat in Ezekiel Elliott is a loss. We'll see how they bounce back.
It is.
And you know J.T. Barrett runs too much sometimes as it is. Oh.
Yes, which is why I'm glad Burrow got a lot of reps into the spring game. He started off a little shaky. His offensive line wasn't very good in the spring game. But when Burrow has time, he has the potential to be one of the next great quarterbacks at Ohio State. He has a cannon for an arm. He's accurate as all get out. So I think when Barrett's gone and Burrow steps in nicely, I think people will forget all about Barrett and Jones. Jones led us to the championship, so you can't really forget about him.
You're hoping.
I think. Well,
you're hoping because your spring game talk before he started getting going was, oh my God, we have no depth at quarterback. You went in panic mode right away.
I did. And that was like early on. And then all of a sudden, Burrow had plenty of time to throw, and I was like, oh, this kid has a cannon for an arm.
Well, he's got a big arm.
He's accurate.
He's gonna have those growing pains too, though.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, which I hope some of those games, like at Bowling Green or home against Bowling Green, Tulsa, the Rutgers game, Indiana, like I hope those are blowouts so he can come in and get some experience because he's gonna be the next guy coming up.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and shift our focus to NFL rookies. Here's what I want, guys. I want your top 3 instant impact rookies that you think are going to have, like right away, just go off. Ryan, we'll start with you.
All right, so I think Ezekiel Elliott's going to just go off this year. I mean, you've seen what he did in college. Now he's with the Cowboys, and they have that offensive line that can just give him time, give him room, and he's just going to be another threat for Tony Romo, be able to take the pressure off Tony Romo so he doesn't throw as many interceptions or get sacked or anything like that. I definitely think he's going to take off and be dominating this year. And then Eli Apple.
2 Buckeyes.
It's Eli Apple.
I like your style.
I'm leaving.
I like your style.
I'm leaving.
He's quick. He's got the height. He's got the reach. He is inconsistent at times, but he's only a few years out of high school, so he definitely has a lot to learn.
Speaking of reach, that was a reach for the Giants.
It definitely was, but I think he'll be good this year, without a doubt. And then I want to say that. I want to say that Wentz is going to try to do something in Philly this year. They don't really have anything solid at a quarterback, and I'm not saying he's going to be it, but he's definitely a viable option, and he might be the best one that they have. So that's a reach for a quarterback, especially, but I don't know. They don't really have many options with what going on right now, so he could be their best bet, and you never know.
So you got 2 Buckeyes and an FCS quarterback. Jesus.
Yeah.
You went out on a limb. I'll give you this. You went out on a limb. So Apple's biggest thing is not talent or speed or athleticism. He's got to watch his hands at the next level. With all the penalty flags the NFL's throwing now for pass interference, he got flagged for it too many times in college. He's got to learn to use his hands in the 5-yard zone and then use his hips the rest of the way.
And he's going to have to start reading the plays a lot quicker too, and be able to make adjustments, because that's one thing that he lacked on a little bit was reading what the play was and making adjustments on the spot. Yeah. So
the one good thing about Apple is he has the speed to run down someone from behind.
Right.
So that's the one good thing about him. So if he does get beat, he has the speed to kind of cover the ground.
He can make it up as long as he just doesn't get burnt too bad. So.
Yeah.
All right, who you got for your instant impact rookies, Morgan?
All right, My top three. Number three, I got Golf for the LA Rams. I think he's what they need. He's. You shake your head no. Why?
I'll tell you when you're done. You go through your list, and I'll critique the shit out of it.
So I have Golf at number three. I got Devontae Booker, the running back for the Broncos, coming at number two. I think he's what they need. They need a running back right off the bat. He was arguably the second best running back in the draft, so that was huge for the Broncos. And the number one, obviously, is Zeke. He was the best player coming out of the draft, the best player going into the draft. He's exactly what the Cowboys need. Cowboys have the offensive line. He'll take a lot of pressure off Romo, a lot of pressure off Witten, Dez Bryant. He'll be able to open up the playbook a lot more, which I think will help the Cowboys out. Which I hate to say, but I think that will help the Cowboys out as a whole.
So Booker, obviously, in Denver is a huge get for them. They're starting Mark Sanchez as their starting quarterback going into the season. And
Awful.
You need a running game to get Sanchez, make sure he's not throwing ever.
Yeah. He should make like 10 attempts a game.
Maybe.
Tops.
Maybe. So I agree with you on Booker. You guys both had the two quarterbacks who I think are busts. I think they're overrated. I think they're third-round QBs who went 1 and 2 in your instant impact guys. I can't agree with either one of you on those two at all. I can't. I just
what?
You know, I wanted to say Jalen Ramsey, but he's already injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not going to be an impact if he's already injured. So.
Yeah. Well, my 3, 4, and 5 were Doxson for the Redskins, Bosa, and Golf. So I kind of went because when he told me to do the top 3, I'm like, I didn't know who I wanted to be, Golf, Bosa, or Doxson. So I just went with Golf. So I had him run down at 3.
Gross.
Well, who do you got for your 3?
For my 3, I'm going with at number 3. I'm going with Laquan Treadwell. If he can stay healthy, if he can come back from that ankle, stay healthy, stay on the field in Minnesota, Laquan Treadwell is going to be a beast. He was my favorite receiver coming out of high school. He's been my favorite receiver in college for the past 3 years. He's a monster. I think he's going to do great things in Minnesota if he can stay healthy. That's the big if. And number 2, I'm going with Corey Coleman for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously,
really,
they lost Josh Gordon for the season again. They need receiver help. They don't have an explosive guy like Coleman. And what Corey Coleman did at Baylor is nothing short of spectacular. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL. He's a different type of player than Gordon. He's not as big. He's not as physical. But I think he's going to be able to extend the field for them and open up their offense a little bit better. Open up those underneath routes for your 2 and 3 guy. Corey Coleman can do that in spades. So he's my number 2.
Which you have the Baylor connection with RG3 and him.
Yeah. And at number 1, we all have the same guy. It's Ezekiel Elliott. That offensive line made Darren McFadden a 1,000-yard rusher. Ezekiel Elliott is 10 times the back McFadden was in college, let alone right now. Elliott's going to come in. He's going to share carries. They have a loaded backfield, but his touches are going to be meaningful. He's going to get red zone touches. He's going to score, and he's probably going to get 1,000 yards. I'm calling 1,000 yards for a rookie running back this year in Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah,
easily.
I can see that
easily.
So
now you had Coleman coming in at number 2, and I know during the draft we were surprised that the Browns took a wide receiver that early. So and we were both surprised, but now you got him as your number 2 surprise or your number 2 impact player.
I was surprised that they went with him over. Every receiver was still on the board for Cleveland. Yeah. And they had to pick up. I didn't put him as high as Treadwell or as some of the others. But in Cleveland, he's a need. He's going to help RG3 right away. And, again, he extends that field, which is going to open up for – when I think about instant impacts, he's not only going to impact the stat sheet, he's going to impact everybody else's stat sheet in the receiving corps. And that's what I see him doing.
Yeah. It's a good fit for him in Cleveland.
Yeah, and I think Treadwell is going to be a better receiver, but his injuries concern me, obviously. He's got to stay on the field, and I think he'll be a who's our Giants receiver? How does his name slip my mind?
Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr. type receiver. Quan Treadwell has that potential. So That's my top 3.
Plus, he's working with who they have in Minnesota. They got Patterson.
Yeah.
Got the other wide receiver with him. Yeah, so that'll open up the field a lot.
We'll go ahead and move on to
wideouts.
trivia. We got some football talk in, which I desperately needed. I've been starving for some. I was thirsty, guys. We'll go ahead and move on to trivia. What do you got for us this week, Morgan? It better be better than last week, because last week was terrible.
Talking this football was like your Snickers. You were turning to Betty White.
Oh,
all the other talks. So now you got your football. Now you're Marilyn Monroe now.
It's the sport I know best. I could break down football all day long and love it. We're talking about other sports. I'm like, yeah, I might have watched the game. I probably didn't. I won't lie to you. I probably didn't watch the game.
All right, so 2 trivia questions for you, all right?
Okay.
First one. Which player has never won a Triple Crown in baseball? So never won a Triple Crown. A, Mickey Mantle. B, Babe Ruth. C, Ty Cobb. Or D, Lou Gehrig.
E, who cares? No,
Who we got, Ryan?
I'll say D. No, what was D?
Lou Gehrig.
D was Lou Gehrig. You got Mantle, Ruth, Cobb, or Gehrig.
Ruth.
I'm going to go with... I'm taking your original choice, taking D.
So, Ryan, you got Ruth. Zach, you got Gehrig.
Yeah.
The answer is B. Babe Ruth has never won a Triple Crown. That was a good one because they're all 4, top 10 baseball players of all time.
Cool story, bro.
So that was a good one. Thanks. And then, who had a record in 2002 for most receptions in a season? Was it Marvin Harrison, Chad Johnson, T.O., or Jerry Rice? Most receptions in that season.
Marvin Harrison. He was lined up with Peyton Manning.
Marvin Harrison.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm locking it in.
I want to give you a second to think about it.
No, I'm locking it in. Marvin Harrison.
All right. The answer is A. Marvin Harrison. I got that one right. Good job.
Of course it is. Football.
You went 1 for 2. Ryan went 2 for 2. You suck today.
I would get every football question right over all of you. You bring baseball, of course I'm not going to know.
Hey, don't take this win away from me.
I'm taking it away.
Don't take this one away. I don't get many of them. I'm taking this one.
I am the forever champion here, okay, boys?
Whatever.
A little bit better this week. The second one was easy. The first one was a little more challenging. A little more confusing, I'll say that. You had better options for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
that first one was a close call.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll mix in some other ones next week. Maybe I'll throw in some cricket. You want some cricket questions?
I would hate you forever. Although I did watch a cricket match when I was in Australia. I got into it, but I was drinking. It's a long story. There were fans. It was a rivalry game. I got into it. Okay. Insane.
You probably didn't have much of a choice.
No. So that's our show for our last show of the week. Some football talk. What do we have? 3 more months? Jesus. Time flying by. We're gonna go ahead and.
We can do football talk every week if you want.
We're gonna have to once the playoffs end. I mean, we're gonna have to fill a void.
We could do like Heisman hopefuls, sleeper teams, upset matchups.
I got my sleeper teams for sure. We could break all this stuff down there in the summertime. By the time the season comes around, our listeners will have so much to pin against us it won't even be funny. You said this and you were wrong. Of course, they're talking to Morgan, not me, because I'm always right.
Our 3,000 listeners?
Well, you do have. I mean, you do have the Buckeyes ahead of Michigan, so you are right.
That one I'm hoping I'm wrong, but we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic about this season. All right, that's my verbiage for that one. All right, so that's our last show of the week. Thank you guys for sitting down, taking time with me, talking sports. Always fun.
It's a good time.
As always, man. Sorry, I thought you were talking to the listeners. That's why I was like, why did he say me? You did a little selfish ass. There's 3 of us.
Why are the listeners be talking to me right now? You're an idiot. God, I hate you. Brian, thank you for sitting down and talking logical discourse, sports discourse with me. Morgan, you're a moron.
Anytime.
How am I a moron? We had the same top 5 college football teams for next year.
That was a fluke. All right, that'll never happen again.
He hacked into my laptop and stole my notes. All right, he wanted to sound.
Oh my God.
He wanted to sound smart.
He's not that. He can't even get his microphone to work. You think he tapped into your computer and stole your notes?
He had somebody do it, or he outsourced. I know he did. All right.
I had Smitty J get in there for me.
Oh Jesus. She sucked it up like a vacuum cleaner. Thank y'all for listening.
We gotta give Smitty J.
Go ahead and like us on Facebook, 2BlueandOSU. Follow us on Twitter at 2BlueandOSU. Go ahead and let us know what you like, what you don't like. Give us some input. We would really appreciate it. And let's see if we can share these out so we can get our listener group growing yet again. Thank you for those who are listening. We do appreciate it. Our day one listeners, we appreciate you very much. Y'all have a great week.
You have been listening to 2Blue and OSU. Check them out every Monday.